Welcoming you all viewers. This is Raj Kiran working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering in PACE Institute of Technology and Sciences. Today I am going to deal with constructors in Java. This video is about constructors in Java programming language. Today we are going to talk about constructors in Java. What is constructor? A constructor is a special method. What is constructor? What is constructor? A constructor is a special method. In later session, I am going to explain why we are calling it as a special method. First of all, construct is a special method. Special method. So it is also a method like remaining methods, class consisting of methods. Likewise, a constructor is also a method in the class, but it is a special method. What is the speciality? What are the properties of this constructor? Let me tell you properties of constructor. Number one, constructor name is same as class name. Same as class name. For example, here there is a class. The class name is demo. Inside this, if you want to write constructor, you have to write that constructor method using this class name only. Here it is demo. Yes. See here, it is the method representation. Class name and this method name both are same. If any method we are writing like this, then it is called constructor. Here demo is the constructor. And second point, constructor doesn't have a return type even void. Constructor doesn't have return type even void. All we know that void is the return type. If a method is not returning anything, then we will declare the return type as void. Each method in Java, of course, in other programming languages like C, C++ is having a return type. Normally, if the method is not returning anything, then we will declare that method as void. Not only in Java, if you observe in C, C++, method or function is having its own return type. Whatever the function or method is returning, we are mention that type of data as return type. Here, constructor does not have any return type even void. For example, here in my previous example already I have written one example, that is for example class demo. Here I am writing demo is a constructor. If you are observing here, there is no return type. So second point is constructor does not have return type even void. And next one is, whenever we are talking about method cannot execute itself. We need to call that method. After creating object for the class with object name dot method, it is what is the general syntax to call the method. But here one more very interesting thing, that is there is no need to call the constructor externally. No need to call constructor externally. No need to call constructor externally. It will be called automatically. It will be called automatically. How it is automatically called? Who is calling this? When we are creating object, at the time of creating an object, automatically constructor will be called. How it is happening? Just write one class. Here it is a demo. Demo is the class here. To reserve the memory for these class members, what we have to do? in object-oriented programming language, for class members, by writing the class, the memory is not going to be reserved. Whenever we are creating an object, for all the members of the class, memory will be reserved. Here, this is what is the syntax to create an object. All of you know what is the syntax to create an object. Class name, here class name is demo, and object name is just obj, and new is the keyword to create an object in Java, and here it is demo, semicolon. If you carefully observe, you can find that here demo is a method. Here you are indirectly calling a demo when you are creating an object. So as a part of creating an object, indirectly, without our knowledge, within the syntax, we are calling a constructor. This is what is meaning of calling a constructor automatically. So that point number 3 is no need to call constructor externally. It will be called automatically at the time of creating an object. What is the purpose of writing this constructor? What is the purpose of constructor? Purpose of constructor. Till now, I explained you what are the properties of constructor, how the constructor seems to be. Now, it is very important to know what is the purpose. Without knowing the purpose, how can we use it? So that it is very important to discuss this purpose. The purpose of constructor is to initialize the object attributes. The purpose is to initialize the object properties. Initialize object properties. All of you know that object is having two kinds of different angles. Number 1 is properties, number 2 is behavior. All properties will be declared inside the class as variables, and the behavior of the object will be modeled by writing the methods inside the class. So based on your requirement, if you want to initialize the class members, means the object properties, then you have to go for the constructor concept. Without constructor, we are not able to initialize the object properties of the class members. So this is what is the purpose of constructor. Now let me tell you more about these constructors. There are different types of constructors. Before going to talk about different types of constructors, let me give you one more important point, that is, without your knowledge, automatically every program is having a constructor. Who is writing that constructor? Your compiler will take that responsibility to write that constructor inside your class without your knowledge. Although you have written or not is not the matter. If you are writing the constructor, it will be considered. If you are not writing the constructor in your programming in your class, by default there is a constructor that is called default constructor. Till now, without your knowledge, you worked with a constructor. Of course, that is called default constructor. Types of constructors. Types of constructors. There are 3 different types of constructors we have in Java. Number 1 is default constructor. And number 2 is parameterized constructor. And number 3 is copy constructor. These are the 3 different types of constructors. What is default constructor? As I told you previously, without your knowledge, there is a constructor inside your class. Who is writing that constructor? The compiler will take the responsibility to write the constructor if you are not writing the constructor in your class. So that is called default constructor. And one more thing about this default constructor, we can say like this: If constructor is not accepting any arguments, that is also considered as default constructor. Already I told you, construct is a method. If it is a method obviously accepts arguments. Of course, like regular methods, constructor may not have all the properties of regular methods, but it will accept the arguments. If our constructor is not accepting any argument, if you are writing any constructor without accepting arguments, then it is called default constructor. So we can say like this: a constructor without arguments is called default constructor. Of course, in my practical demonstration, I will show you everything. I will work out with every type of constructor. What is parameterized constructor? There is a drawback in default constructor. If you are writing default constructor for that class, if you are creating 100 objects, all the objects are having same values. That is what is the problem with the default constructor. If it is your requirement, then no problem. If you are creating 100 objects for a class, all object properties are having same values, then you can go for default constructor. If you want fill your object properties with different values for each object, then you have to go for parameterized constructor. So parameterized constructor is a constructor which is accepting arguments. So it is a constructor with arguments. Default constructor is without arguments. Parameterized constructor is with arguments. And what about this copy constructor? For example, if you want copy one object values into another object properties, then you have to go for copy constructor. We can say like this: copy constructor is also one of parameterized constructor, but here as a parameter we are passing object instead of values, because we are copying values from one object into another object properties. So it is a copy constructor. Let me explain you each constructor type with a suitable example. Number one is default constructor. Default constructor. I am going to write one suitable example. From that example, easily you can understand what is default constructor is. Here I am writing very simple example. It is class. The class name is something, it is demo1. Demo1. Inside this class, I am declaring a variable that is a. Now I would like to initialize this a. To initialize a class member, we need to write a constructor. Here I am writing constructor. Constructor name is class name, that is demo1, and inside this I am assigning value 10 into this variable a. Good. Close this constructor and close this class also. Here I am writing one more class to write the main method. Of course, you can write main method inside this class also, but I am writing separately for better understanding. That is class. It is demo. Inside this, public static void main string args. Okay. Inside this, now I am creating object for this demo class. Demo1 class. Demo1 obj, that is equal to new demo1. Yes. Now I am trying to access this a value. I am trying to print this a value which is on object obj. System.out.println of obj.a. So close it here, close it here. Let me explain you what is happening here in this code. Whenever you are creating an object, automatically memory will be created for class members. What are the class members here? There is A. For example, it is a memory inside this. For A member, the memory will be created. The reference will be placed into this OBJ. If you want access this A, you have to access with that concern object name OBJ. So that I am writing here, it is obj.a. Whenever you are creating an object, what I told you, automatically the constructor will be called. Here there is a default constructor without any parameters, demo1. So from here, demo1 constructor will be called. Inside this demo1 constructor, I am assigning value 10 into the variable A. So under object, A is there, into this A memory 10 will be placed. So here if you print, 10 will be printed on the screen. So this is what is the working pattern of a default constructor. Let me tell you what is the drawback of this default constructor, because without knowing the drawback of default constructor, you are not able to understand what is the purpose of parameterized constructor. I would like to extend my code few more lines for better understanding of a parameterized constructor. Here I am creating one more object. For example, it is demo1. It is obj1. It is obj1 equal to new demo1. Here I am creating one more object, that is obj1. System.out.println of, I am printing that A value on obj1 close this method, close the class. What is happening here now? Here I am creating one more object, means memory will be created. What are the class members? Here there is A. The reference will be given to this obj1. Whenever obj1 object created, automatically it will call the constructor. So here there is a constructor, it called the same constructor will be called. Into this A, 10 will be placed. See here, for obj, A value is 10. For obj1, A value is 10. Likewise, if you create 100 objects, for all objects, the value of property A, always it is 10. If you want initialize these properties with different values, then it is must to go for parameterized constructor. If your requirement is like this, for all objects, if you want to fill A with 10, if you want store A with 10, then no problem, you can go for, you can continue with the default constructor. Otherwise, you have to go for parameterized constructor. This is the drawback of default constructor. That's why we are going into the parameterized constructor. That is not next concept. The next type is second one, that is parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. I am going to give a beautiful example to understand parameterized constructor, that is class. Same, it is demo1. Inside this, I am declaring a property, that is A. Now, my requirement is I would like to store different values for different objects in this A. Now, I am writing constructor here, that is demo1. Here, I am accepting x value as parameter. Who is passing this x? I am passing this x value from the creating of an object. At the time of creating an object, we are calling the constructor automatically as a part of that syntax. At the time creation of an object, I will pass this x value. Of course, I will write it later. Here, A will be filled with x. I am assigning that x value into A. A very simple example, just close this class. Here, I am writing one more class, that is class demo. Like my previous example, public static void main, string args. All you are very familiar with all these statements. In this main, I am creating an object for demo 1. It is demo 1. Here I am creating an object that is obj1. How to create an object? Using new keyword, new demo 1. Here, what I am doing, this is what the statement I have written, this is what the way I created object for default constructor. Now we should not do like this, because already I told you we are passing argument from here. So before passing that argument, before passing that value, you need to read that value, what that value is. So that first you need to read that value. Here just I am writing int x something, this x is equal to 100. Now pass this as argument by creating object demo 1, object 1 that is equal to new demo 1. Along with this I am passing x as an argument. If you try to print this, system.out.println of obj1 dot a, I am just printing. Okay, let me explain you what is happening in this code. Observe this. Whenever you are creating this object, automatically constructor will be called. Please don't forget what are the points I covered as a part of properties of constructor. There clearly mentioned that no need to call the constructor externally, constructor will be called automatically at the time of creating an object. My whole scenario is running on that statement. So demo of x, you are calling this constructor. In previous example, you are not passing any value as a parameter to the constructor, but here in this example, we are passing x as an argument. What is x value? It is 100. So this 100 I am assigning into A. Whenever you are creating an object, automatically memory will be created. For A, memory will be created. A will be stored with value 100 here. So this is what is the parameterized constructor. Let me extend a few more lines of code to get better understanding of this parameterized constructor and to know the exact purpose of this parameterized constructor. I would like to add few more lines of code here. Here it is. I am taking one more variable that is int something, it is y. It is 200. I am creating one more object that is demo 1. I am creating object 2 here. Object 2 new demo 1. When you are calling this one constructor, pass this y as an argument. Pass this y as an argument. And system.out.println of obj2.a. What is happening here? Whenever you are creating an object, automatically memory will be created for A, and whenever a constructor called, we are passing that y as a parameter now. What is the y value? Here y is 200. Now A will be filled with 200. At what time we are calling this? Whenever we are creating object obj2. So the A which is under the concern of obj2 will be stored with 200. Sorry, it is 200. Based on the object, we are initializing different values for the same properties with different objects. Here obj1 A will be stored with 100, obj2 will be stored with 200. Likewise, based on your requirement, you can store different values for different objects. This is what is the parameterized constructor. Last one, that is copy constructor. Copy constructor. Copy constructor. Already in my introduction, when we are discussing types of constructors, I already told you what is the purpose of this copy constructor. Copy constructor is also one kind of parameterized constructor, but here we are copying the values of properties which are under one object into another object properties. To demonstrate this, I am taking this example. Here it is class, same class, demo 1. There is no confusion. For all these three things, I am covering with the same example by extending the code based on the requirement to get better understandability of the concept. Okay. Class demo 1. Here I am writing one constructor, that is demo 1 of something, it is int x. Inside this, of course, I am declaring a variable. Here it is A. A is the property. I am assigning this x value into A. So you know that it is a parameterized constructor. Here I am writing one more parameterized constructor. Yes, you can write as many constructors as you like based on your requirement. Of course, you need to follow method overloading rules here. It is something, it is demo 1 OB. Why I am writing here demo 1 OB? Let me explain later. First, write this code. A is equal to OB dot A. Close this class. So this is demo 1 class. I am writing one more class, that is class, what is it? Yes, demo. Good. Inside this demo, public static void main, it is string args, string args. Good. Now I am going to create two objects. Listen me carefully. I am going to create two objects. One object, when I am creating one object, I will pass this x value and fill this A with x. When I am creating second object, I am going to pass the first object as a parameter, and this object which is having A value will be copied into the present object A. Let me demonstrate here. Here something, it is int x. X is equal to something, it is 100. X is equal to 100. Now I am creating object here. It is demo 1. Object name is obj new demo 1. When I am creating object, like our previous example, I am passing x as parameter. Already all of you know what happens when I am passing x as a parameter. In my previous example, I clearly explained what is happening. Here I am writing, I'm trying to print a value. System dot out dot println of obj dot a, obj dot a. As I told you, I'm going to create one more object here, that is demo 1. It is obj, for example, obj1. obj1 is equal to new demo 1. It is demo 1. When I'm creating this object, I'm passing an argument, but it is not a normal variable. I'm passing object obj, which is created previously. So here it is obj, I'm passing it as parameter here. Let me print here sopln of obj1 dot a, obj1 dot a. Okay, I will explain what is happening in this code. What is the output this program is giving? I will explain you in very detailed manner. Please listen me carefully. Whenever obj created, what happens? Memory will be created for a. So it is a under obj. We are passing x value as parameter. Here there are two constructors. One is accepting integer, another one is accepting demo 1 type object. So here I am passing x is an integer type variable, so that the constructor which is accepting integer as an argument will be enabled, will be called, so that this constructor will be executed. A will be filled with x. X value is 100. Yes, this 100 will be into a. When you are printing obj.a, 100 will be printed as an output. And go for the statement. Demo 1, obj1 is equal to new demo 1 of obj. Observe this clearly. Here I am passing object. This object is of type, which type? It is of demo 1 type. It is demo 1 type. So that the constructor which is accepting demo 1 type argument will be enabled, will be called. Here demo 1 of OB. Here demo 1 of OB. OB and obj both are equal. Here I am catching that obj with the OB variable. Here OB dot A, in the sense obj dot A, will be assigned into this A. Here what is there in obj dot A? Whenever you are creating this object, here also memory will be created for A. Here obj of A value will be assigned into obj1 dot A. So the same value will be copied into obj1 of A, obj1 property A, the same value will be copied. So this is what is the purpose of copy constructor. The value from one object property will be copied into another object property. So copying the value from one object into another object property. So this is what is the purpose of copy constructor. If your requirement is no need to pass the argument, if you want all properties of different objects with the same value, you can go for default constructor. If you want initialize different object properties with different values, then you can go for parameterized constructor. If you want to copy one object data, one object property data into another object properties, then you can go for this copy constructor. Let me demonstrate you all these examples on my computer. I will demonstrate all the examples which I have written on the screen till now. I will work out on the computer. Practically we can see all these outputs. Here I am writing class. As I told you, it is demo 1. I am declaring a variable that is A. Here I am writing a constructor that is demo. Inside this demo, I am assigning this A value with 10 and I am closing the class. I am writing one more class, that is class demo. It is public static void main of string args. Here I am writing object creation syntax. How to create an object? Class name, object name, new and class name. Here demo1 is the class name. I am printing that system dot out dot println obj dot a. Here I am accessing property a of object obj. Closing this. Saving this program. It is demo.java. You have to save your program with demo.java. In which class you are writing this main method, with that class name only you have to save your program. So this is what the program. Let me execute this. My project is in E drive, CD. It is in Java folder. First compile the program. It is Java C demo.java. If there are any errors, it will display the errors. Based on the error messages, we can correct the program. Here it is showing one error, that is semicolon expected. Yes, here semicolon missed. Here the statement semicolon missed. Add the semicolon, save the program, compile the program again, no errors, run the program. To run the program, command is Java demo. You are getting a value as 10. If you want to change this a value 100, yes, you are initializing a value with 100. Now you will get 100. So likewise, using constructors, you can use the object properties with your required values. Yes, it is default constructor. It is default constructor. Let me explain you next example, that is parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. Same class, it is demo1. Inside this class, I am declaring a variable, that is a. I am writing one constructor here, which is accepting one integer parameter. I am assigning that integer x into a. I am getting the text from object creation. Close this program, close this demo1 class, and writing one more class, that is class demo. Same public static void main string args. Of course, before creating object, let me declare one variable, that is x. Read whatever value you would like to assign with a as x value here. Here for lack of time, I am giving static value. If you want, you can read dynamic value using scanner class. Now create object for demo1. Demo1, I am creating, that is obj1 new demo1. When you are creating demo1, pass this x as a parameter. Don't forget that. Pass this x as parameter. Now print, try to print the property, the value of property of a, which is under obj1. System dot out dot println of obj1 dot a. obj1 dot a. Likewise, I would like to create one more object. I am passing 200. Of course, if you want, you can take one more variable. Don't be confused. You can use same variable x, or else you can declare one more variable, that is y. Yes, y here. This object is object2. Now I am calling, now I am trying to print obj2 dot a. Close this class, close this method, close this class, save with the same name, that is demo. Compile this program, Java C, it is demo.java. Yes, here there is error. Variable x is already defined in method main. 2 times here I declared x, so that is what is the problem. Declare it as y. Just change that statement. Sorry, here 2 times y declared. I am removing one statement. Save this program and compile this Java C demo.java. Yes, no errors, successfully compiled. Java demo. Yes, here you are getting 100, here you are getting 200. This 100 is the value of A, the A which is under obj1. Here 200 is value of A, the A which is under obj2. So for both, for different objects, for different object properties, I am initializing different values. This is what is the purpose of parameterized constructor. Let me demonstrate last example, that is copy constructor. Same class demo1. Here I am writing constructor that is demo1, which is accepting one parameter that is int of x. Here A is assigned with x value. Close this, and I am writing one more constructor that is demo1, which is accepting demo type OB, demo type argument. Here into A I am assigning OB dot A. Close this, close the class. Now write one more class, that is class demo public static void main. Oh, sorry, here void spelling mistake, void main. Now I am declaring a variable that is x with value 100, and I am creating object for demo1. The object name is obj, that is equal to new demo1. When I am calling this constructor, pass this x as parameter, print that A value which is under obj. System.out.println of obj.a. I am printing obj.a, and create one more object. Here I am creating one more object for demo1, that is obj1, for example obj1. When you are calling this constructor, of course manually you are not calling, automatically it will be called. At the time of calling this constructor demo1, here pass this obj1 as parameter, obj1. Now print this obj1.a. Now this program is going to give the output whatever the value is assigned into obj a, the same value will be copied into obj1 of a. Let us observe whether it is giving proper output or not. Save the program. Sorry, here there is a mistake. Here it is obj. We are passing this object as a parameter here, and we are printing obj1 of a. Here we are copying this object a value into obj1 of a. Save this and compile this program. It is demo.java. Oh, more number of error messages, almost all 6 error messages. What is the problem here? Go through the first error message, that is cannot find symbol a is equal to x. We didn't declare a here, so that is what is the problem. So declare a. Very good. One more mistake here, it is demo1. Here we are accepting demo1 type, not demo1 type. That is also one of the mistakes. So save this program and compile it one more time. It is Java C. It is demo.java. Oh, nice. No errors. Good. Go for the execution. Java demo. Yes, here 100 will be printed. Let us compare these two values with our code. Here first 100 is obj.a and second 100 is obj1.a. Whatever the value under obj.a, the same value will be printed for obj1.a also. If you change value here, observe the effect. I am assigning 400 into x. Let me execute one more time. Java C demo.java. Compile the program because we made some changes in our program, and Java, it is demo. Yes, automatically obj1.a value also changed. Whenever you are changing this is also going to be changed because the same value which is under obj we are copying into obj1. So this is what is parameterized constructor. In this video, till now I have given you knowledge regarding what is constructor, what are the different types of constructors in Java, and in which situation we can use which constructor, and how to develop the constructor, how to write the constructor in your program. All these things covered in this video. Thank you very much.